I'm Shekira. I work for Nespresso within our retail side as a HR business partner. So very generalist recruitment, but a big piece on talent, dealing with the competition that we have within retail at the moment. I think it's really interesting to think about talent in the bigger picture, like more than just your internal employees. I think we've already started to think about alumni, but on a quite basic level, like how do you just keep in touch with them and make sure those people who are leaving that are good, that you actually kind of keep that relationship. But I think there's definitely a lot more we can do with like the likes of your students, your flexible workforce, people coming in for a short period of time. We need to see that as a positive. It's not a negative transient workforce. They're actually doing something really good for us. I think retail is a really difficult industry right now. There's a lot of competition for really good people. There's a lot of people being made redundant, lots of stores closing, so that the market is flooded with people, but it's about finding the right talent. And I think employer brand is a really interesting perspective. So Nespresso isn't your typical luxury retailer, and we don't necessarily get people applying to us in the same way that other luxury retailers might do. So we have to think a bit more creatively about where we find people and how we find them. I think it's a future that's being forced on us in a way. Like, we don't really have a choice. Like, the internal talent, there's only so much of it. There's only so much of people who are going to apply to you directly. We are being forced to think about different options. And I think the way that the workforce is changing, the priorities that people in the workforce have, that means something different for what job you offer them and how many hours they do and where they're working, what you pay them. And that's really forcing us to think differently and make best use of the different types of things that people want and the different types of solutions that we can offer. I think we have to think outside the box. We have to think about diversity and inclusion and people who we might not naturally think about. So your mums who've been out of work for a while and they want to come back into the workforce, but maybe flexibly, or your veterans, or your, when you think about people who've been in prison and things like that, like there are so many people out there who might not be your natural employees, but they actually have really good skills and good experiences through different things that they've learned or things that have happened to them. And we really need to make the most of that and adapt that to our workforce and make opportunities that suit everybody. Otherwise, we're just going to be left with low vacancies and our business is going to struggle and we won't be better off for it.